Man, man, bro. This don't make no sense. Now look, we already knew this, but damn, just to hear it, just like, man, come on, man. Basically, long story short, for those who don't know what's going on, if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm sure a lot of y'all have, but a lot of y'all haven't too at the same time. Carlee Russell, as you can see from the title, she admitted to, you know, saying that this was a hoax and things like that, and they are possibly going to put charges on her as well for doing this. Now, I don't want a lot of people to go to jail. And I'm really against it unless you just do something very, very heinous. But at the same time, she did mess up a lot of people's minds and spirits with this whole hoax. You know what I'm saying? For real. Tripping, bro. They had me going to talk to people. I'm looking at my baby different, my little daughter. I'm like, damn, man, it just kind of, everything just make your mind wander. Now, one thing I am going to say that's positive and good about this situation is that it brings more awareness to life. You know, a lot of people be in la la land when it comes to certain things. This right here put everybody more on point. You know, I try to find a positive in every situation, even if it is a negative, you know. But, you know what I'm saying, just make everybody just pay attention a little bit more in life because there's so many different things and tragedies and, you know, just a whole bunch of BS going on right now with the spiritual warfare and things like that. But, yeah, she done admitted to it. And somebody in my comments earlier was like that she didn't give a video statement and things like that. Man, that's what the lawyer is for. She paid the lawyer gonna represent her. That way she ain't gotta say nothing. It's already finna be hell when she make her appearance anywhere. You already know how the world gonna be, man. She can't post a picture, go out to eat, nothing right now, because she gonna be on camera everywhere she go, and it's crazy. And everything I am saying is allegedly just my thoughts and opinions. I'm not saying anything to be factual or true on my end on what I'm saying right now, but and further on into the video as well. You know, but I'm just saying that, you know, social media ain't playing with you in life ain't either. So, you know, this is bad that she wanted the attention for doing whatever she did or whatever the case may be. Somebody else want that same attention. So they'll do more than what you did to get it. You feel me? But yeah, man, she done set us back a few years when it come to shit like this. But let's go ahead and get into this conference that they had today. I ain't watched it yet. I just seen bits and clips of it, but y'all already know we finna get into the whole situation and talk about it and break it down and just see what's up. Hey, who the fuck hit me up? Dang. Let's get into the video, man.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Suscalibur with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point.
Man, what the hell else could it be, cuz? Damn. Just tell us, man. She already said she lying. We got to keep on waiting. It's like a goddamn movie, boy. They stretching this out long and hard. I like some dope, man. Come on now, man. Damn. Let's get into it, see what they know. I just want to know, like, what else could you, like, what else, you know? Maybe some crazy shit happening.
With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain.
It's my boy right here. Let me know what's up.
Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today.
Oh, really?
I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing.
She was lying.
We helped to determine where Carlee was within the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now.
All right.
My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing.
I think that's some bullshit. Something going on. You just wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, not nowhere with nobody doing nothing. Hell nah. You was somewhere doing something, man. And it's alright. You know what I'm saying? You're in a lot of shit. Just say everything, man. Damn, man. We got to keep on going through this saga. They done turn this shit into a trilogy, man. They keep on dropping and dropping. Damn, bro. Damn, just tell us the truth, bro. Let us know what happened. Hopefully, I know she's gonna have to eventually give some type of public statement. And have y'all heard about the situation where the $63,000 won't be refunded to the people who donated as well? See, bro, this man, shit, boy, they ain't gonna, man. It's gonna take something very, very major for them to come out and look for somebody else the way they did for her. You know, she lost a whole bunch of resources and credibility for us as black people. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back into it though.
Client apologizes for her actions to this community.
They're already looking for a reason.
Volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, I'm calling you. Please state your name and your affiliation. Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time of the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, it would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
Aaron Lillow, WBC 13. Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this, if you can?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows and maybe her attorney now, but again, the statement that we see from him does not indicate any.
Ricky G on WBRC, can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
No, that would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
David Lamb, CBS 42, can you update us so that there is a meeting scheduled for this afternoon with the family, or when is that meeting?
Yeah, no, not a meeting with the attorney, not the family or Carlee. We have a meeting scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point?
Not scheduled, no, sir.
What's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up?
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bring her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. It is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
Lisa Graham, WBTM 13. Do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave.
Now look, they was talking about her getting some jail time possibly and things like that. From what I heard, I haven't seen it or can confirm it totally right now until we watch it right here. But yeah, man, they're tallying up how much this costs people and things like that. Man, they finna try to go ahead and get what they can up out of her. And you know, your way to pay back to society is well, from what they want it to be and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Is jail time. You know, shit. That's why they be giving so many people so much time and shit like that, because they trying to get all the money back from trial, courts, and everything. You feel me? So yeah, they coming up with some shit, boy. It's gonna be restitution, whatever the hell they call it. Every time you catch a case, they add some type of gratuity or something like that to your situation and things like that. But yeah, it's just a crazy situation. I keep on saying because I just can't fathom or put together something like this as far as being charged and things, because there's so many different things that she could be charged with, especially holding on to that money that they saying that she keeping a hold to. But yeah, man, you know, just a crazy situation all around, bro, for real. I can't believe this. Let's get back into it, though.
Us, and had monetary expenses themselves.
When JLR investigates, are the parents under any investigation?
You know, as I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, you know, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened in those 49 hours, where she was, did she have any help? We have no idea. You know, I read the statement from Mr. Anthony, that's all we know.
Keith Mims, WAGG 16, Summit Media. Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And are there any kind of mental issues that the police department or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
You know, not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, you know, this was elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Olivia McCalmings, WPRC, Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Back here.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBT Fire Team. Just for clarification, Carlee Russell is not in custody right now.
That is correct. That is correct.
Last question with David.
David Lamb, once again. So, first of all, when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We'll still try to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit as far as the conjecture of what everybody thinks took place. We know that by her own admission, it didn't happen, and we're thankful for that.
All right, thank you guys very much.
A news conference in regards to the investigation into Carlee Russell, the young Hoover woman who went missing for 49 hours before showing up. He got a letter from her attorney. She secured attorney Emory Anthony, and he had the police chief read a statement which Chief Durzis read in its entirety.
Yeah, just some details from that statement from Carlee Russell's attorney. This is from that statement. There was no kidnapping. She did not see a baby on the side of the road, did not leave the Hoover area, did not have any help, said it was a single act and was not with anyone or at a hotel with anyone.
Our David Lamb is standing by, who was inside that news conference. David, we heard you ask a couple of questions. One of them I thought was really critical. Does that letter change the scope of the investigation?
Yeah, and Chief Durzis said absolutely not. It is interesting. The details of this and the admission, that's the reason I kind of asked the question, because I wonder if this changes anything. It does not. Also of note, Sherry, I know you and I have been in this area for a good little while. The name Emory Anthony is familiar to us. He is a noted attorney. He has been involved in some high-profile cases. So her choice of him as an attorney and his style of defending also is interesting. He's an interesting choice for her for Carlee Russell to choose as her attorney. But yeah, this letter, what was it, Wednesday? Whenever Chief Durzis kind of laid out that case, did a checkpoint of all the things they had seen. So from Wednesday to today, the Russell family connecting with Emory Anthony and coming up with their defense and quite an admission from Carlee Russell, someone that we had not heard from at all, her and her family. Really interesting admission, wasn't it?
Let's, David, thank you for that. Let's switch over to former U.S. Attorney Jay Town. We have him standing by live here to take some of our questions as well. Jay, thanks for joining us. This press conference today went over details from Carlee Russell's attorney. We didn't really learn anything new from police. So why do you sort of see them reading the statement on behalf of this attorney and still no charges announced in the case either?
Well, I think that what Chief Durzis was doing by reading that statement is really confirming the press conference last week where Carlee is admitting, and she didn't have to admit anything. And to David's point, Emory Anthony is an excellent attorney. he would not have even forwarded such a letter unless he really wanted it read. It does put the community at ease. They know that it was indeed a hoax, and I think we all knew that last Wednesday. Maybe some of us knew that maybe as early as Saturday, but I think that it was responsible of her and Attorney Anthony to get that note out, so that if there were still people under the impression that there was a threat out there, that they're assured now that there wasn't. Now, she does put herself in some legal peril.
Man, look, shit, people been knowing that. For real, long time ago, man. I'm telling you, from the first time we just realized it had to be some type of BS somewhere, especially when them goddamn highway footage and videos and stuff like that got released, we really just see what the hell was really going on, and it's just really sad and pitiful and pathetic that you would actually lie like this to everybody, especially after you already heard people was trying to say certain things. She should have made herself known, you know what I'm saying, to the public that she was okay and things like that, but she took it a little bit too far. Now she got to deal with all these consequences, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, cuz people been sure about this. I understand he giving us an update and shit like that, but we've been knowing she been playing for the longest. Now she done messed up with a whole bunch of people that's around her, you know, and could potentially land her in some jail time. But let's get back into it. I think he was just going to tell us something about that, about them trying to charge her or something like that. Let's get back into it.
Denise Washington is the DA for Jefferson County and Bessemer, and she's a very thoughtful individual. I know Denise very well. I think highly of her, and so, you know, she'll have to decide whether or not charges are appropriate in a case like this. Maybe some restitution for the agencies that expended so many resources looking for her for those 49 hours, but that'll be up to DA Washington.
Jay, let me ask you this, because I think that is the new thing we learned last week. Chief Durzis went on and on about we're not pursuing criminal charges at this time. So today it sounded as if certainly the police department has presented information to the Jefferson County DA, or at least they plan to, then to be able to get some charges brought against Carlee, because obviously why else would they present that to the DA's office in the Bessemer cutoff?
I'll tell him my granddad.
Well, I think that what Chief is saying is that he's presenting information to the DA. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. People shouldn't read tea leaves into that. If the DA decides charges are appropriate, then they're appropriate. And I think that was the case last Wednesday as well. But this certainly, this letter, while it's not an admission from Carlee Russell because it comes from her attorney, it does certainly confirm what Chief's evidence that he presented last week proved. And so it makes that aspect a little bit easier. I think this is just going to really come down to prosecutorial discretion on behalf of Denise Washington, the DA of Jefferson County Bessemer.
And can you think of any time, I'm sorry, Ben, I don't want to jump in there on you, but can you think of a time here that a DA has actually brought charges against someone who's created such a scenario?
Boy, it's hard to recall even such a scenario, right? It's so bizarre, this case. But certainly when you make a false statement to law enforcement, that has been charged routinely, making false threats, hoaxes at schools and things like that, terroristic threats that are false. Those are charged routinely. I don't suggest that this rises to that level. But certainly, for 49 hours, a mass of law enforcement, both federal, state, and local, not both federal, all of federal, state, and local, were looking for her, and other crime victims were not being tended to as quickly. And I think that's important, that this not happen again.
Just for anybody just joining us, the chief there with Hoover Police reading a statement, a letter from Carlee Russell's attorney where she admitted there was no kidnapping. This is according to her attorney, did not see a baby on the side of the road, did not leave the Hoover area. Jay, at the end of that letter, they talked about apologizing to the community and those who searched for her, asking for prayers and forgiveness for Carlee as she moves forward. I know that there are no charges in this case yet, but reading through that letter and hearing what they had to say, is there anywhere in there you hear a possible defense?
Oh, no, there's no defense to any of this conduct, unless it's a mental health defense, but for the most part.
Oh, shit. That's what I've been hearing a lot of people saying, too. Maybe it's a mental problem. Yeah, you got to be slow as hell to be doing stuff like this. Yeah, it's true enough. But nah, hell nah. She knew what she was doing. Like the dude said, it was an elaborate plan. I said that before he said it in another video. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in all actuality, man, that girl knew what she was doing. She been planning it and everything like that, and it just didn't go through. You know, she didn't get the results that she was looking for. This turned all the way around on her 100%, and you can't do nothing but hold her accountable for what she's done. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was somebody else who did this, which I know a lot of people do things like this, but to reach this magnitude that it has reached. Like, yeah, they got to do something. They got to make an example, even if it's just paying the restitution, you know. But yeah, she tripping. The only thing that they was worried about was their goddamn wig. They kept on talking about that wig for the longest, bro. They didn't really give a damn about nothing else but the snacks, everything like that, the evidence. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why they were saying certain things. I know a lot of people was like, damn, if he say wig one more time, or if they say something about her one more time, they were just trying to let you know the severity of everything. Like, tell you that things were planted and put in places and things like that to make it look like something that it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just so lost for words when it comes to like what it could have possibly been besides saying it was for attention. You know, it's just kind of hard to come up with something else. That's all I could see it, you know, being as a attention grab for everybody to be focused on her at that time. But we really just never know. But that's what I get from it. Let me know what y'all think about that part. But yeah, they were talking about that wig a whole bunch, wasn't it? Let's get back into it again, though, man.
Hearing is really a responsible retort to the community's reaction to her disappearance, which is, look, I lied, I'm sorry, pray for me, I ask for your forgiveness. I mean, that's grown up stuff to do, admitting when you're wrong. We teach our kids to do it. Certainly adults can be taught to do it as well. So I didn't read too much into that. One thing I did find from the letter that was interesting to me is that she had no help. And that she wasn't with anybody at any hotel room. So there isn't a secondary person involved here. There's no conspiracy. Nobody twisted their mustache and hatched this plan. This was all Carlee. For whatever reason, and we may never know what that reason is, even if there are charges brought.
Okay, and that's former U.S. Attorney Jay Town. Jay, thank you so much. We want to get back to David Lamb because one of the questions that did come up twice in today's news conference, and certainly last week, was those questions about her mental health. And Chief Durzis again saying, not that I know of, not that I know of. What was your take on that, David, when the question was asked again? Because why would he know that about her?
Yeah, one of the interesting things, Sharon Ben, about this case is the level that this escalated so quickly into a national and international story, and there's so much discussion online and the chief even referred to the super sleuths. Hopefully this will put to rest some of the super sleuths, because there's so many rumors, so much out there. It's just everywhere. Folks kind of handicapping her mental state and where is she and where was she and all of those things. So I think that's why it keeps coming up. But that's also why I asked the chief. I wanted to try to pin him down. He has not seen Carlee Russell or her family since that hospital visit of his. So I think that's why that keeps coming up. That's one of the things. But also, if you'll notice in the letter from Emory Anthony, who I agree with Jay, he's a tough, hard-nosed attorney and has a great deal of experience in cases just like this. No kidnapping, no baby, no help. There have been tons of rumors of who was helping her and who was all involved in it. Also, no hotel. There have been those. Also, a popular rumor about she was staying in a hotel in this area. So they did kind of seem to attack those things that on social media we're hearing so much about. And I think that does go, Sherry, also just to questions about Carlee Russell's mental state as well.
And David, one other question, and you're in the room, we are not. We can hear the questions somewhat, and you can hear them a little bit clearer than we can, but when he was asked the question about could the parents be facing any charges, can you go over the chief's answer to that once again? I believe he said anything's on the table in his response, but give us a little more insight into what the chief had to say about that.
Yeah, that something to that effect was his response. I really think, Ben, that in terms of the investigation ongoing and moving forward, at this point, with an attorney involved, it does become a bit. It becomes almost a negotiation at this point, and I do think the chief is holding some information. trying to do his best to get Carlee Russell, her family, her now attorney, Emory Anthony, to the table sooner rather than later. I think that's why he withheld some facts in the press conference on Wednesday, and also withholding some of that today. I think he's ready to get them to the table, and let's move to the next phase of this and try to bring this to a resolution, because I promise you, for the Hoover Police Department as well as everybody watching, this has been a stressful 10 days or so.
And we are still awaiting that enhanced FBI video that actually happened on the side of the road. So
that's right.
That's David Lamb there in Hoover with a very police
what the hell going on with
investigation into Carlee Russell's alleged disappearance and reappearance.
And just to wrap up that Hoover Police update on Carlee Russell, if you're just joining us, they read a statement from her attorney saying that she apologizes to the community and to those who searched for her. And the big ones off the top was she admitted there was no kidnapping, did not see a baby, did not leave the Hoover area, and did not have any help. And just to one other point, they do have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow with her attorney.
For tomorrow with the attorney, and that apology, which I think was important to hear from her attorney to the community, her friends and family, and even the police department for the search. We will return to programming in just a second. I'll take a quick break and come back for the CBS 42 News at 4 o'clock.
Man, look, I don't give a damn about all of that other stuff. Basically saying that, you know, her lawyer said this and lawyer said that and shit like that. We need a personal confession. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we've been emotionally invested in everything into this situation, man. You can't treat us like we ain't shit. We've been really here for you, and you been lying. Like I said in my other video, she just sitting at home watching us watch her and try to find her. We've been talking about this girl for, like they said, 10 days, bro, and we just not finding out what the hell going on. And she still haven't gave her statement, you know what I'm saying, directly. Even though she do got a lawyer to represent her and things like that, the public is owed that, in my opinion. I think that'll calm down at least a few people, you know what I'm saying? But overall, man, like I said before, she got to be careful out here. People are looking for clout. They looking for the same shit she was looking for in her situation and things like that. So with that being said, anything can happen. So be careful and make sure you're watching your back, you know, and when you go places, you got to be ready for people to record you and put you on social media and things like that. It's a sad reality that you got to live now, you know what I'm saying, until you get yourself situated with the people and things like that, because people just not forgiving like they used to be. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got to say about this, man. If you made it to the end of the video, I really do appreciate y'all, and I will holler at y'all later on another video.
We determined the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother, stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data included several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were two searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse spa?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even entered our mind or been discussed.
One more question. Is it surprising to you that the family has not been cooperative in returning to be questioned?
Well, I think the family has stated to us that they didn't think that in her mental state right now, because of trauma of the incident, that she's not ready to talk, is what we've been told.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah, question for Chief. You stated that the abductor had orange hair. Was this abductor black male? Was it female? Black female? White female?
I believe it's a white male. Am I correct by saying that? Was it ever? Yeah, white male.
Is this alleged abductor yet on the loose in the Hoover area?
Don't believe so.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Brittany Dion, WBRC. Has a toxicology report been done, and were any drugs or illegal substances found in her system?
We have no report of that.
Is any indication of mental illness in this case?
There's been a concern in the community that if this turned out not to be a true story, that the next time a young woman of color was missing, that it might not be taken seriously. How would you respond to that?
I'd respond to say that we investigate every crime to the fullest, just like we have this one.
Was she traveling with anyone since, excuse me, was she traveling with anyone since the time she disappeared, to your knowledge?
And not to my knowledge.
Chief, I know you said you weren't able to verify a lot of aspects of the story. Where do you think she went, and how would you characterize what happened to her?
You know, that's the $100 question. You know, we pretty much know exactly what took place from the time she left work until she got on the 911 call, and we can see getting out of the car on the interstate from that footage. And after that, I think she only knows. We don't know.
Well, one quick follow-up. Her parents. Did you speak with Carlee's parents, and why do you think it is they were so adamant that there was an abductor?
Yeah, I think parents are believing what their daughter's saying, and we've had a very good rapport with the parents, met with them on several occasions. I've talked to them today a few times, and to make them understand that we're under pressure from our community, not only in our community of the state, but nationally when the story hit. And I just wanted them to understand that today we were going to have a press conference, and what we were going to detail today are facts. And everything that I've told you today is actual facts. It's not innuendos. It's not what I think. It's not what these detectives think. It is the factual information that we have.
Chief, Ajay Robertson, WBRC. How much time do you think you'll give the family before going back to Carlee for sentencing?
Well, I think our detectives have talked to the parents, and we're ready. We're ready to talk as soon as she's ready. So, you know, she called right now. We're ready.
You had one word to describe what went on. What would that word be?
How about unknown? You know, we know the facts that we have. Everything else is unknown at this time.
In the back.
What have the past few days been like for you, your department? This has been a stressful search, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. And again, the focus of the investigation that Thursday, when she went missing, of course, the focus was to get Carlee home. That's what we want all. We wanted her safe and sound. And that's all happened. And then, of course, this has gotten to be not only a local, state story, but a national story. So, you know, it is. It's a lot of stress on everyone in the Hoover Police Department, and the mayor, to every citizen here. We want to know the truth.
As you stand here, are you frustrated?
I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I mean, I'm very happy that Carlee's home. That was the main ingredient here, and then we'll figure it out. I promise you that. We'll end up figuring it out.
Any idea about the number of manpower hours or the expense of the drones and all the rest of the search that might have cost the city and the state and the federal government?
Yeah, we haven't had time to consider that, but it's you know, again, these detectives that are here, this is just a small group of people that have been associated with this case. We have put every available resource that we have on this case because we wanted to make sure that we found out everything. We wanted to get her home, and we have.
Was there any prior indication of mental health problems?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can you just expand on the people from the state, federal resources brought in? What were they doing exactly as you all were searching for her? Can you just expand on that?
Sure. A lot of the from the FBI side, several agents helping us interview. I mean, as you well know, in a case like this, especially when it goes national, we got hundreds and hundreds of calls. And when you get those calls, some of them may just be outlandish, but you've got to follow up on them, because you never know that you may get that one tidbit. And I'd also say too that we had a great cooperation with the family. The family received hundreds and hundreds of tips, and every time they got a tip, they sent it to us.
Would you say a crime has been committed in this case?
We have not determined that, no.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Question for Chief. With all of the searches that you mentioned, Chief, that were on Carlee's phone, does that kind of give you an indication of her mind state during this ordeal, the 48 hours that she went missing?
Well, you know, again, we want to talk in facts, and I do think it's highly unusual to the day that someone gets kidnapped, that 7 hours, 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very, very strange, yes.
Yes. Do you feel confident, do your investigators feel confident that you know why Carlee Russell may have done this?
No, we do not know. Absolutely not.
Chief, can you explain for us, you mentioned that while I believe you said that Carlee was on the phone with 911, she was traveling 6 football fields, which tells you what?
Which tells me that I've had kids, and I'm sure a lot of people here have, and it's very, very, again, she said it, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen, because I've always been one of these guys, never say never, but 6 football fields. I mean, I like athletics, I like football. 6 football fields. To think that a toddler, barefoot, that could be 3 or 4 years old, is going to travel 6 football fields without getting in the roadway, without crying, without any just moving down. It's just very hard for me to understand.
Chief, have you used any technology to enhance the video from 459, and did you see a man grab her?
We did not see, from what we can tell. We don't see anybody on the interstate other than her car and then someone getting out of her driver's side. We have sent that off to the FBI for enhancement. It has not been returned.
Do you think in this case that charges will be forthcoming towards Carlee Russell, and how serious of a crime is it to not only fabricate a 911 call, but to lie to law enforcement during an investigation?
Well, you know, again, that's not something that we've been discussed since we're going through the still investigation. But, you know, people have to understand that when someone says something like this, we put every available resource. Everybody comes together from, like I say, state, local, federal. It's just a lot of work, and you know, the gentleman earlier said frustrated. I mean, it is a little frustrating to think that all this has been done and we can't find anything out.
Did anyone see her calling in from the side of the road when she made that 911 call?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, last question here.
Is this investigation held up until you can speak once again to Carlee Russell?
Well, there's a few things that we're still doing, but obviously we want to talk to Carlee as soon as we can. And do an in-depth interview, and at that time, I think we'll have these investigators doing some other things. So
that's all the questions we're going to answer today. We appreciate you guys coming.